Hello, sweet friends. It is the start of a new week, and I have a problem to solve. I feel like I've been getting back into some really bad habits, especially doom scrolling for hours. And I always notice when I do that I start to feel really low, my anxiety gets really high, and I just don't feel good. And so I thought, you know what? It is the start of a new week. It's a fresh chance to just hit the reset button and get back on track, away from the phone and into my real life. And I'm going to do that by reading a ton of books, doing some cozy hobbies, getting outside, just nourishing my own tank and getting back to my real world instead of the digital one that's online. And I just notice when I'm spending tons of time like with really high numbers on my screen time, I really don't feel good. And I've just like yesterday hit a wall and I thought, okay, tomorrow's the start of a new week. I need to start fresh and I need to get back to some of these things. So I hope we can do some of that this week. The other problem I've been having recently is that I keep starting new books without finishing the ones I'm already reading. So right now I find myself in the middle of at least like 6 different books. So I think for this vlog, if we can accomplish at least making some headway on those, maybe if we could finish at least 2 to 3 and get really far in some of the others, I feel like that'll make me feel really good and also keep me away from my phone. So here are the books that I'm in the middle of and that I'm going to be trying to finish this week. The first one is the Bridgerton sixth book. It's called When He Was Wicked. This is Francesca's story. I know she makes an appearance in the new series, so I really felt like getting back into this world. I did not enjoy the last one, Eloise's story, so that's why I took a huge break in between all these books, but I am excited now to read this one. I'm about, I would say like 2/3 of the way through. It's been flying by, so I hope I can finish this one in this vlog. I also have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I started this one ages ago, and then for some reason I just stopped after like 1/3 of the way through. I've read her 2 new adult releases that came out after this, and I loved both of them. So I don't know why I never finished this one. This one always has, really great reviews. People have great things to say about it. I feel like this one would be a really quick, easy one to just fly through. Then I have Powerless, which I also started a while ago. I've been annotating this one. That's why it's been taking a bit longer. I'm just a little bit of the way through, like 1/5 of the way through. I really like the story so far. I guess I just haven't been really in a fantasy mood, but hopefully in the evening, if I find some quiet time, again, instead of being on my phone, I think I'm going to try to reach for this one and make some progress. And then the last book I have is Chloe Walsh's Redeeming 6. This is book number 4 in the Boys of Tommen series. I've been reading this one on my Kindle at night. As if you've read any of these books, you know they are very difficult to read because of the subject matter. Reading wise, they're very easy because most of the book is dialogue, so it does kind of fly by, but the content is a little bit heavy and triggering, so that's why it's taking me a little bit to get through it. But I think we'll be able to make some really good progress because reading it on my Kindle always makes it go faster. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through, so I have a really good feeling that I'll be able to finish this one in this vlog as well. And I just think, you know what, books are some of the reasons that I always feel more grounded. And when I read and I, find that spark to get back into my reading, it always kind of zaps some new energy into me. And so I'm hoping that's what this week will be all about, just getting out of my phone and into the real world again. little while later now. I am just finishing my lunch. I made myself a little smoothie. I feel like I've been sleeping on smoothies recently. I forgot how good they can actually be. And for this one, I put some dragon fruit in it. So that's why it's so pretty and tastes really good as well. But I have just been powering through reading tons today, which is what we set out to do. So I feel like the first day has already been such a success. I managed to finish this book. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. Was it entertaining? Yes. But was it super riveting and earth-shattering and groundbreaking? Absolutely not. But it is a little bit of fun if you're looking for some light entertainment in a period piece. I did enjoy Francesca's story a lot more than some of the other Bridgerton kids. Definitely more than Eloise's story that came before this. This story is a little bit of a she's always been the one. He's kind of obsessed with her. It's a little forbidden romance. It also is like brother's best friend, but it's the cousin instead of a brother. And yeah, I really like those vibes. I think it was different to all of the other sibling books. I find the only thing about Julia Quinn books, though, is that she does really well for the first 50%. She has a great hook. You get right into the story, and it just like, you know, has a nice pace to it. But then you get to like the 50 or 60% mark, and she just starts doing some really weird, bizarre things with the plot. It becomes a little random. It becomes a little clunky, and you're not always sure where she's going to take it and how it's going to end. And sometimes the endings are also a little bit abrupt. It's almost like they drag for a little bit and then all of a sudden you're done and you're just like, okay, I got a little bit of whiplash. How did that just end so quickly? So I don't know. I think the second half of her books are definitely not as fun as the first half of her books, especially because she does do pining well. She does do a little bit of slow burn. So I do enjoy those aspects of her books. But then, like I said, towards the end it does get a little strange and a little random and a little bit like she's panicking to throw some exciting moments in, but then also panicking to wrap it up and then it ends abruptly. So I've just noticed some of those kind of weird things in some of her books, but like I said, entertaining. If you're looking for a period piece, then it's just something light and easy to read. Pick it up if that sounds interesting to you, but I need a little break now from this type of content. So I think what I'm going to do is firstly take a break from reading because I just feel like I've been plowing through for a couple of hours, and I'm glad I did, but now I just need to get some steps in, get my body moving. I might go outside for a little bit. Maybe we'll make a meal and then we'll get back to reading this evening. I think I'm good on romance. We might save this for tomorrow, but this evening I think I want to get into Powerless. We'll make it really moody in here, maybe get some candles on, get comfortable, and we will dive into this. I've been annotating this one, so I will show you some of my annotations as I go. I know some of you have asked to see more annotations when I read, so maybe I can share some of that, and we'll just have a really nice, moody fantasy evening. days later now, and I have been cranking through my reading. I am so thrilled that I actually said I was going to do something this week, and I've actually been doing it, because saying something and doing something are like two totally different things, especially in my world. I have the best of intentions, but I don't always stick to them. But this week, I feel like I've actually been telling myself that every time I go to pick up my phone, it's not a good idea and I need to leave it alone and I need to just pick up a book instead. And it's actually been working, which has like been so shocking. But as you saw a couple days ago, we went to the beach, which is like the perfect place to get some reading in. I took Better Than the Movies with me. This just seemed like the perfect beach read. It's light and airy. I have just a little bit to go. I've been liking this a lot. It's very sweet. It's very cute. It gives me feelings of those kinds of movies I grew up with, like 10 Things I Hate About You or She's All That, like that whole era of movies. It's so, so cute. I think I'm going to end up giving this probably like a 3.75, 4 maybe, depending on how it ends. And the only reason I'm saying that is just because of the time of life I'm in. I feel like if I was reading this when I was a high schooler, this would have been like a hands down 5-star read for me, because it's just giving all those kind of high school butterfly feelings. But I'm just not in that place in life. I prefer a little bit more adult reading now. And so I think I'm just like slowly fading out of my YA era, and who knows, it might come back. I have a deep appreciation for this genre because of books like this, so please don't let that deter you from reading it if YA is still your thing. If you still want very fluffy and light and airy but still very fun to read and great banter, this is still a great book for that. The other book that I've made a lot of progress in is Redeeming 6. I am almost to the end of this one as well. I'll probably finish it today. Oh boy, this book, I knew Joey's story was going to be devastating. I could already tell from the first 2 books that were Shannon's books, even the little glimpses that you got of Joey. I knew in my heart that his books were going to be so, so heartbreaking. And sure enough, this one is just as heartbreaking. This one's a little bit more intense than his first book, which is Saving 6. This one goes a lot deeper and it's a lot more triggering. And I just find the complexities of all of his relationships to be so interesting, like his relationship with his mom that he struggles with, his dad, obviously, his, girlfriend, his siblings, his older brother. Like, there's just so many dynamics at play. And there's also, the side characters are also going through a lot. And there's a lot of like sub things happening, I guess, setting up for the next books that are going to come in the series. The only critique I think I have is in the middle chunk here. I would say like this part of the middle chunk, it's a little repetitive. So obviously everybody knows he has like issues with drugs and addiction. And there's a chunk in there where it's kind of like he's relapsing. His girlfriend forgives him. She's angry, but then forgives him. And then he's relapsing. And then the same thing happens. And I understand that. I think you need that for the story. Like, I see what she's doing, but when you read about it, it just seems a little bit, I don't know, like overly done and very, very repetitive. But that still hasn't deterred me from feeling how I feel about this book. It's definitely probably still going to be a 5-star read for me. And the thing with me and 5-star reads is it's not, usually about like the literary work that it is, or like the use of certain types of writing skills, or, all that kind of stuff. It's mostly like how I enjoyed myself reading the book. And this book, even though the topics are triggering and very heartbreaking, I'm still enjoying being in this world and reading about these characters, and I'm rooting for them and I'm emotional with them. I found myself crying multiple times in this book. A good book will grip you like that. If it literally is pulling at your heartstrings and having you feeling all those emotions, no matter how it's written, and if it were not ever to win like a publishing award, I don't care. As long as like I'm having such a great time with it and my emotions are all over the place, like invested in it, then to me, that's like the sign of a really good book. So as I've always said before with The Boys of Tommen, these books are not for everybody. I would definitely read up the trigger warnings, maybe try the first book, see how you feel. I don't blame you if they're not for you, because they are very, very specific. And if you enjoy this type of book, which is heartbreaking and triggering and very deep and very emotional, not fluffy at all, then give it a go. They are absolutely worth it. So I'm going to finish this one tonight on my Kindle, and this one as well today. Might pop outside. It's so nice today. Lately in New England, the weather has just been so brilliant. The only other book in this vlog that I have not made that much progress in, but I did a few days ago, I read a little bit as you saw, is Powerless. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why I don't feel motivated to read this book, but I did manage to read a couple of chapters. I'll see what happens in the rest of the few days left in this week to see if I make any more progress. It's not to say it's not a good book. It is a good book, but maybe I'm just not in the fantasy mood. So we'll see what happens. But I think what I'm going to do now is maybe do a cozy hobby. I need to get my June bullet journal set up going. So I'm going to do that for a little bit, and then I will get back to doing some more reading. Alrighty, sweet friends, I think we are going to call it a wrap on this vlog. I was able to finish 3 books this week, which is insane. I don't remember the last time I was able to do that, just stay away from my phone and actually commit to reading this much. And I gotta say, I actually do feel a little bit better, but the only thing that gets me is I don't know why every week it is such a struggle. I feel like it's just the world we live in now where you just feel like you're missing something if you're not online or if you're not constantly checking your phone. I feel like we've like evolved ourselves into being like these creatures, and I'm doing my best to fight it. And I think weeks like this definitely help, and they show me that there's so much more exciting stuff happening in my real life than on the phone. So I just need to like focus on being present and being here, because when I do that, it really does make such a difference in my mental health. I feel much lighter as a person. I feel actually productive and like I've gotten something done, even though it was like for my own enjoyment and it was reading and hobbies and, you know, things for me, but I still felt really productive because I felt like I was pouring into my self-care cup, which is productivity on its own, so that I can go out and conquer the world with all these other things. So I feel really, really good, and I encourage you to do the same. Maybe spend a little less time on your phone this week and see what you can do out in the real world that would make you feel a little bit better. I'm going to see if I can keep this going into next week. I'm so excited about getting to some summer books. I really have been craving, especially since we went to the beach. I just want some like really cute romances. Maybe I'll throw in some like emotional ones too, but I've just been craving some summer content. So I think I'm going to do a vlog on summer books coming up. But in this vlog, I'm so excited we were able to get through these 3. We got through Bridgerton, Francesca's story, cute, a great period piece if you're looking for one. Better Than the Movies, super, super sweet, great banter, very YA vibes, those high school butterfly feelings. Very sweet if you want to check that out. And then of course Redeeming 6, super emotional, triggering, very in-depth, lots of complex relationships, really, really tough story to read sometimes, but also very moving and just really great overall. I love the Boys of Tommen series. I don't know if I will dive into Gibbs's story. That's Taming 7, which is the book that she just came out with recently. I might need a little break from this world because it is so very intense. So we'll see when I get to that. And then lastly, Powerless. I was not able to finish this in this vlog. Like I said, I'm just not been in a very fantasy mood, but I'm going to keep chugging along and hopefully make some progress in the evenings. But thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see as far as cozy hobbies or journaling or reading or any of this like lifestyle-y stuff. If there's anything that you like watching of mine and you'd like to see more of it, I'd love to hear from you. But thank you for watching today, and I'll catch you next time.